Bless my soul. I don't see why I keep you around here. Of all the numbskulls.
Here, look, I found it. Signor Galileo Galilei. His Eminence, the Grand Duke of...
That's not it, you idiot. That was written more than 2 years ago. One can find a new star in the heavens sooner than find anything after you've had your hands upon it.
But I never touched any of these things. You told me never to
I
disturb
told you
them.
nothing of the sort. We've got to get a new system around here. Don't sit there with your mouth open looking at me. Find the letter. You're stupid. Mind what you're doing, you'll tear my gown. Gentlemen, good evening. Oh, Leonardo, get some chairs for the gentlemen.
Signor Galilei, we are of the Senate.
Indeed? From the Senate, you say? Won't you be seated?
I understand that men of science are very methodical. Your method of filing your papers is unique, to say the least.
Oh, it's a very excellent system. I put everything I have on this table. Therefore, when I want anything, it must be here. But I can never find it.
Signor Galilei, I have the honor and the pleasure to inform you that in recognition of your services to science, the Senate has awarded you the chair of science at the University of Padua.
My thanks to the Senate.
The position carries a salary of 1,000 florins a year. For life.
1,000 florins? For life? Do you know what this means to me? With that spyglass, I have mapped the heavens, charted the courses of the planets. With this money, I will build a real telescope. It shall be as long as a cannon, as big around as a wine cask. It will weigh more than a ton.
And this might be the very telescope of which Galileo dreamed. Indeed, it is a direct descendant of the tiny spyglass he invented, and with which in 1610 he discovered 4 of the satellites of Jupiter. Almost 3 centuries elapsed before scientists, using this 36-inch refracting telescope at the Lick Observatory of the University of California, discovered a 5th satellite. Since then, 4 more have been discovered, 3 of them with this telescope. Nearby we find Dr. Pfaff making observations with the 12-inch refractor. With his stopwatch and photoelectric cell, he is measuring the light of distant stars. Applying these and other calculations, science is striving for an accurate method of making long-range weather forecasts. When they succeed, we shall know far in advance of the coming of droughts and floods, excessive heat and cold, and their calamitous results may be largely avoided. In this building at the foot of the giant telescope lies the body of James Lick, who made this priceless gift to the people of California and all the world. In the peaceful valley at the foot of this winding road is the University of Santa Clara, and on its campus we find the beautiful observatory dedicated to the memory of Father Ricard, the beloved Padre of the Rains. This solar telescope was used by Father Ricard in making his weather forecasts. These sunspots are in reality huge gaseous disturbances on the solar surface, and often cover an area 50,000 miles across, over 6 times the diameter of the Earth. We find it a bit foggy as we cross San Francisco Bay, passing under the new bridge, but the natives assure us this is most unusual. In nearby Berkeley is one of the most unique observatories in the world. Here in his own backyard, Mr. George Tauschman, utilizing scrap sheet iron, junked auto parts, and other odd fragments, has constructed a 22-inch reflecting telescope, probably the largest ever built by an amateur astronomer. With his ingenious but thoroughly practical instrument, the builder has made many interesting observations. This is the cell, formed from an old disc wheel, held in place by the rim of a porthole from some long-forgotten ship. The mirror was ground from the porthole glass. Mr. Tauschman, an able mechanic, has a well-equipped workshop in which he spends much of his time. Goodbye, Mr. Tauschman, amateur astronomer. We're off to Southern California. As we fly above the shores of the Pacific, the waves form a lacy border of ever-changing pattern. Rocky headlands and sandy shores soon give way to rugged mountain peaks as we near the Mount Wilson Observatory of the Carnegie Institute of Washington. Within this 750-ton dome is the 100-inch Hooker reflector. This is the world's largest telescope. With its aid, photographs are taken of nebulae as distant as 500 million light years. Strangely, no direct observations are ever made with the eye. Mr. Alfred Joy is photographing a star, using the spectrograph to spread starlight into colors. From the photograph, the composition and temperature of the star may be determined. From these towers, daily observations are made of solar aspects. Each morning, the observer goes aloft to adjust the mirrors. The elevator is an improvised miner's bucket. As it rises, a magnificent panorama is unfolded. To the west lies Griffith Park Planetarium. In this imposing edifice, astronomy is reduced to simple terms, readily understood and appreciated by the hundreds of visitors who daily pass through its doors. Historical murals adorn the interior of the dome, from which is suspended the Foucault pendulum. The rotation of this fixed dial beneath the pendulum proves that the Earth does move. Astronomy goes forward at an ever-quickening pace. At Pasadena, in the California Institute of Technology, work is progressing on the new 200-inch telescope, and when the new reflector is completed, man's visible universe will be double its present size. Today, the world heaps honor upon the scientists. Such men as Dr. Robert A. Millikan are justly awarded universal acclaim. And what was the reward bestowed upon Galileo for his contribution to science 300 years ago?
Galileo Galilei, you have been found guilty, and the decree of this court is as follows. You shall renounce the heresy of your teachings. You shall repeat the 7 penitential psalms each day. You are to be a formal prisoner of this office for the remainder of your life. Do you recant?
I do.
You curse and despise your crime in teaching that the earth moves and that the sun is the center of the universe? Do you?
I do.